Friends, tonight we're diving deep into the murky underworld of international crime, and let me tell you, it's stickier than a caramel macchiato left on a subway seat in July. We're talking about Tren De Aragua, or TDA for short, a gang with roots in the Venezuelan prison system that's been making headlines and raising eyebrows here in the Big Apple. Now, New York City is no stranger to gangs. We've seen it all, from the Sharks and the Jets, the musical version thankfully, to more modern-day menaces. But TDA is a different breed, exporting its brand of chaos far beyond Venezuela's borders. They've popped up everywhere, from Colombia to Chile, and now they're setting up shop right here in the 5 boroughs. But what makes TDA so terrifying, you ask? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to take a wild ride through their alleged rap sheet, which reads like a laundry list of every crime lord's wet dream. We're talking drug trafficking, gun running, human trafficking, you name it, they've probably dabbled in it. And they're not afraid to use violence to get what they want. This isn't just some petty street gang, folks. This is organized crime at its finest, or should I say, its worst. And as TDA tightens its grip on the city, fear and uncertainty are spreading faster than a bad slice of New York pizza. So, what exactly are these criminal masterminds up to on our home turf? Let's break it down, shall we? First up, drugs. TDA is allegedly neck-deep in the narcotics trade, moving massive quantities of cocaine, heroin, and anything else that can turn a profit. They're like the Amazon Prime of illegal substances, but with a lot less customer service and a much higher chance of getting arrested, or worse. But they're not stopping there. Oh no, TDA is a regular criminal overachiever. They've also been linked to gun smuggling, bringing illegal firearms into the city like they're duty-free souvenirs. This influx of weapons has law enforcement seriously concerned, and rightfully so. And if drugs and guns weren't enough, TDA is also accused of engaging in human trafficking, exploiting vulnerable individuals for forced labor and sex work. It's a horrific crime that preys on the desperate and leaves lasting scars on its victims. The stories are harrowing, folks. We've heard accounts of young women lured to New York with promises of a better life, only to find themselves trapped in a nightmare, forced into prostitution against their will. And those who dare to resist face brutal consequences. Now you might be thinking, John, this all sounds incredibly bleak. Is anyone doing anything to stop these guys? Well, rest assured the forces of justice are not sitting idly by. The NYPD, along with federal agencies like the FBI and DHS, are hot on TDA's trail, determined to dismantle their operations and bring them to justice. We've seen a number of high-profile raids and arrests in recent months, like the February 5th bust in Queens that netted 3 alleged TDA members and a cache of drugs and weapons. And let's not forget Operation Tren De Aragua, a sting operation that led to the indictment of 10 suspected gang members and the seizure of enough firepower to make Tony Montana blush. But here's the thing about organized crime. It's like a hydra. You cut off one head and 2 more grow back in its place. TDA is a sprawling, complex organization, and taking them down for good will require a coordinated, multifaceted approach. It's a game of cat and mouse, folks, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The rise of Tren De Aragua has cast a long shadow over New York City. From the bustling streets of Manhattan to the quiet suburbs, people are on edge, worried about the gang's growing influence and the potential for violence. The media, as it often does, is having a field day, churning out sensationalized headlines that stoke fear and paint a picture of a city overrun by ruthless criminals. Now, I'm not one to downplay the seriousness of the situation, but it's important to remember that New York City is a resilient place. We've weathered our fair share of storms, from terrorist attacks to natural disasters, and we've always come out stronger on the other side. But the threat posed by TDA is real, and it's not going away anytime soon. It's a stark reminder of the challenges we face in a globalized world where criminal networks can operate across borders with impunity. The fight against Tren De Aragua is far from over, folks. It's a battle that will require vigilance, cooperation, and a whole lot of courage. And as we navigate this uncertain terrain, one thing is clear. We must remain united in our resolve to protect our city and its people from those who seek to do us harm.